Am had a serious problem. She was so addicted to online gambling that she was willing to kill for it. At 26, living in Thailand, Am spent most of her time glued to her phone, playing on online casinos. At first, she won a little, but like every gambling addict, she eventually started losing badly. Before long, she was completely broke. Desperate for money, in 2015, she asked a friend for a loan. The friend, kind and trusting, lent her $3,000, telling her to pay it back whenever she could. But instead of using it wisely, Am gambled it all away in no time. When her friend eventually asked for the money back, Am faced a choice: admit her mistake or do something unthinkable. Instead of owning up to her losses, she made a chilling decision. She would murder her friend to avoid repaying the debt. Am had a plan. She went online, figured out how to buy cyanide, and then paid a visit to her friend's apartment. While there, she secretly laced her friend's food or drink with the poison. Moments after consuming it, the friend collapsed, dying within minutes. But Am wasn't done. Before fleeing the scene, she stole whatever cash, jewelry, and valuables she could find. The worst part? Cyanide is difficult to detect in a person's system. Unless there's clear evidence of foul play, a full autopsy isn't always performed. In this case, everyone assumed the friend had died of sudden heart failure. With no suspicion on her, Am walked away, free and debt-free. After getting away with murder, Am moved on with her life. She met a local police officer named Woon, and they eventually got married. Now she had a stable life, no debts, and seemingly no reason to kill again. Until she started gambling again. By 2020, Am had lost everything. Desperate for money, she borrowed from more friends. But when they started asking for their money back, she turned to her old method, cyanide. One by one, she poisoned them. 4 months later, she poisoned another friend. She slipped cyanide into a diet pill. She invited one friend to a villa and poisoned her there. She visited another friend's house and poisoned him too. Each time, she stole their money, jewelry, or anything valuable, then gambled it all away. Sometimes, she was losing tens of thousands of dollars a day, but as long as she kept killing, she could keep playing. By 2022, Am was borrowing more money, gambling it away, and killing her lenders when they asked for repayment. She even poisoned a police captain she had met through her husband. Then she got bolder. She poisoned a friend while shopping for vegetables, another at home, another at the market, another while out for coffee. By now, Am had murdered 10 people, and no one suspected a thing. Then, one of her victims survived. At a restaurant, she laced a friend's cough medicine with cyanide. The friend collapsed but lived, assuming she had just fainted. She never realized Am had tried to kill her. At this point, Am's husband, Woon, discovered what she was doing. As a police officer, he could have turned her in. He didn't. Instead, he helped her. In 2023, Am's ex-boyfriend asked her to repay the money she owed him. She went to his house, poisoned him, stole his cash and jewelry, then called Woony to pick her up. He drove her home, acting as her getaway driver. A month later, she poisoned another police officer, possibly just for fun at this point. The mistake that got her caught. Everything changed when Am invited her friend Koyi on a trip to take part in a Buddhist protection ritual, meant to bring good karma. They traveled to a nearby province, bought a bag of live fish to release into a river as part of the ritual, and then, just as they reached the pier, Am handed Koyi something laced with cyanide. Koyi collapsed and died. As usual, Am stole her purse and fled. But this time, she made a mistake. Koyi's mother refused to believe her daughter had simply dropped dead. She pushed for an investigation, and when police performed an autopsy, they found cyanide in Koyi's system. Since Am had been with Koyi that day, police brought her in for questioning. She denied everything, even being at the pier. What she didn't know was that security cameras had caught her walking with Koyi by the river. Caught in a lie, she had nowhere to run. In November 2024, Am was sentenced to death for the premeditated murder of her friend.